All right. I will
It is the weirdest
remove all of his
stand
custom.
ever.
I know what I did.
Okay.
Talk, you guys.
All right, talk.
So can people see nothing, but they can hear us? What's?
There we go. No, we're live now. We had a Twitch.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
All right, awesome. So yeah, there's like no feedback on my end. So it's like I don't know, is the camera on me or is it not on me? I don't know. But yeah, so if it imploded before, Adam was asking me the story of how I found out that I won. And so me and my friend were sitting in the library studying for our final exams. And I go on the website, taking like, a quick 5-minute break. And I see, oh, hey, the winner's been announced. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, I won. That's me. Holy crap. How am I supposed to study for my final exams after knowing that I just won $1,000 and my faction in the game? So needless to say, that was kind of an adrenaline-fueled study session after that. But yeah,
now you can
cool
use
though.
it to pay off student loans. Yay!
No, I already spent a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
I bought an off-brand Wacom Cintiq tablet monitor to draw stuff on, and a pretty decent studio-quality USB microphone to record sound and, well...
There's such a thing as an off-band Cintiq?
There are off-brand Cintiqs.
I didn't know
Cintiqs
that.
are really good. They're like top of the line.
Yeah, oh, I
They
know.
have their problems here and there, but the off-brand ones are like half the price, and you can still draw on a monitor, which I guess is the allure for that.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Take the microphone.
Still in the mic for a second. We had a great question from the chat. Okay, so you're still too far off your mic, by the way. So you're gonna have to
Okay, I
get it.
apologize.
You're gonna have to get up on the mic. But anyway, we've had some questions for you, Paul, about the dense trait.
Yes,
And
yes. You
some
people
specific-
ruin everything. Actually, I'm not that opposed to the dense trait. The problem, I think, right now is that I might have to nerf dense a little bit, but it's actually the real heart of the problem is this interstellar support module mass. It drops 25%. I don't actually even really have a problem with, what do they call them? They're calling them Mouseketeers, the tiny colony ships. Essentially, it's like if you go through that much effort to build these tiny little colony ships that have like no range and then quickly evacuate your planet of all of its people, that it's not without some penalty. So I will probably tweak it a little bit, but that one doesn't bother me so much. There is, however, a bug that might already be in fix 1.1, but will definitely be fixed in 1.1, where ships in the shipyard are not accounting for mass, and which nobody caught until people started exploiting the hell out of it. And so you could build that Mouseketeer and then play a normal game and still be able to build that ship. So we're fixing that. We're going to keep balancing that. There's a bunch of exploits that people have very quickly found and made mischief with, and we'll be balancing some of those. Some of them not as much as you would expect, because we want the game to have, we want you to be able to go, oh, I'm so clever, I figured this out. But the problem is there are things right now where it's like, well, unless you do this, you'll lose, and then people get, or people get crazy about it, and so we'll have to balance some of those things. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. I think this galaxy must be pretty crowded because I'm already surrounded by people.
Yeah, speaking of bugs and stuff, I haven't had an actual... Oh, this. Okay, this close. That's really close. But yeah, speaking of bugs, I haven't actually had a chance to really take Galciv for like a full whirl yet, because I really want to go through and just see how much I can break the game, because that's usually what I do whenever a game is first released. I'm like, let's see if I can break it. Because right now my record stands at like 10 seconds for completely breaking a game. One of my professor's games...
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll take you more than 10 seconds to break.
Oh yeah, Galciv probably will take me significantly more than 10 seconds, but for school games, like, my professor made a game. He's like, hey, you guys should try out this game and test it. I'm like, okay. Spawn into the world and immediately fall through the map. That's my record.
Ooh.
I will never be sad about having New Detroit. Nice. I will never be sad about having beaten Super Mario World start to finish in 19 minutes once upon a time. That was amazing. So,
I love the fact that New Detroit is a ghost world. That is entirely random, not at all planned, but still
that's hilarious.
As says everyone from Michigan.
So we had Brett and I were talking earlier off air about he's making a conversion mod, a total conversion mod for Galaxies. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, first of all, that total conversion mod will probably not be public for a very long time, because the thing is that all the factions I'm making for it are using art that I have stolen from the internet. So, yeah. That won't be released publicly unless I can get art that I can make myself or like commission other people to do it. But yeah, basically what I've done, I've just kind of implemented my own universe into the game. I kind of ripped out all the default factions and made all my own stuff. Basically just a bunch of different types of humans, new traits, things like that. I've actually ripped out one component of it. I made a personality trait mod, which you can find on the forums in the modding section. Basically, you know how there are the xenophobic, expansionist, all those AI traits? Well, what I did is I went through and I made them kind of like actual race traits. So like there are benefits and downsides to each of these personality traits that you can choose in the faction designer window now. And so if you could give feedback on that, that'd be awesome, because I want to improve it and make it good. I also made, last thing for modding. I also made a mod tool that makes it really easy to name stars. So if you remember in Galaxies 2, there was just the star list was all just a text file with just like all the star names. Well, in Galaxies 3, it's a little bit more in depth because it's all XML with labels. What my quick and easy little program does is it basically just takes that text file of all those single star names and it'll spit out the XML data, and you can put it right into a mod and it'll work fine. So if you want to do that, check it out. Now Adam.
So you're just replacing the star name defs? Yeah.
Yes, just replacing the star name defs.
I had a great question from John Olar.
Jandolar? from Clan of the Cave Bear?
Oh man, you are dating yourself, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So Janolar wants to know: will we be getting the remaining 3 ship design contest ships in game? Speaking of contests,
yes. So the as a matter of fact, I need to talk to, and I'm actually a bad person. I've just been kind of coming down. So, but one of the things that we need to do is a couple of them break the game because they were designed in older versions of the designer. So we actually need to either have our guy, have Brandon rebuild them, or ask the people to put them in. But yeah, for sure.
Someone's asking what the name of the mod is that I made. The mod that's publicly released is called the Personality Trait mod. It's in the modding forums on the Galaxies 3 forums.
All right, we got some good questions out of the chat. What do the rest of us have to do to get a tour of Stardock? Well, winning a contest helps.
Show up. No.
Also, coming to Michigan helps quite a lot. It's hard to do it without that. Yes, yeah. Brett happens to be local here, which is kind of a cool little thing. So he came out and got the whole studio tour and met the team and got to nerd out with the various engineers and whatnot, which was pretty cool. Let's see, when will we get the option to disable tech brokering?
You know, that was supposed to be in the final build, and it got cut because of a technicality. So not too long off. The code exists to do it. It'll probably be. I would like to guarantee they'll be in 1.1, but I should make sure before I get myself in trouble.
Sure.
But yeah, it should be in 1.1. There is a tech trading. That's why it's so confusing. Tech trading and tech brokering are two different things. I wish we could find better words for them.
So let's see. I want to know what I have to do to get a stable game. Blomp, blomp. I mean, we're fixing bugs all the time. 101 just went out yesterday.
Yeah.
Hopefully fixed a bunch of stuff. And, you know, it's ongoing. The best thing you can do to get a stable game is actually report your crashes with your error logs to our forums, and that helps us so much. We we have a comment that they'll bring homemade cupcakes if you let me watch the stream live. We will. You know, maybe once we get the new studio built, not like game studio, but the new Twitch studio.
Are you making
the
a new
soundstage?
Twitch studio?
Well, we're hoping. That's the hope. I mean, I don't have anything to announce for it yet, but that's the idea, because
Cool.
Twitch has been really cool and really fun. And I know, Paul, you've enjoyed your radio show, as it were.
Yeah, I tend to. I like the feedback mostly.
Sure.
Probably put my foot in my mouth a few extra times. But
Will players ever be allowed to build an advanced building, for example, a mega factory, in a single turn, provided you have the manufacturing to do so? So skipping through like basic upgrade to Xeno, etc.
probably not, at least until an expansion, because we'd have to find a way to do it that isn't awkward. It's kind of an either or thing. What I don't want is people to have to go back and we went through this whole debate actually when we were designing the game to whether you should be able. I think at one point even they didn't automatically upgrade. I mean, you didn't start with the lowest level one, so probably not right away. But maybe. But it would require more than just a convenience for players. It really has to be somehow a more interesting game dynamic to do it that way, or an option or something. Plus, it makes this menu a nightmare, which already gets really long.
It totally does.
And Galaxies 2, we actually had to have 2 tabs that showed like retired ones and most recent ones.
Fair enough. Let's see. We had a question about invasions. Invasions, to a lot of people, are feeling very easy right now, Paul. What do you say to that?
I say that's because the AI is probably not building enough planetary defense. Because if you put planetary defense on your planets or have a high resistance, invasion is very difficult. So that is probably actually an AI problem. And we will have to look into that.
And
keep in mind, however, that invasion's probably going to get a pretty serious overhaul in like 1.2.
So yeah, in my playthroughs, like pretty much every time I invade a planet, it's like 90% plus chance of victory.
Yeah.
And when I do take the planet, there's usually never any planetary defense. So I think it would be really cool to have planets just like loaded up on planetary defense. That'll just be like
it's an
impossible to invade.
AI preference thing, and the AI is very aggressive right now, so he doesn't really protect his planets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we can do that as we kind of tweak the governors, make sure that those things are a little higher priority. So then even I can fix some of that, whereas some of it will fall on Brad as he keeps making tweaks.
If you're coming new to the stream, by the way, our special guest today is Brett. He designed the Orphica Enclave, which is our faction contest winner. So he won $1,000, and we put his faction in the game. And if you've seen them, if they've popped up in any of your games, they're kind of terrifying. And we all kind of gave the artist who did it a bunch of crap today because they are scurry. We're all very scared.
What were did you do art for them in the first place?
I used one. Sorry, I keep forgetting the microphone. But yeah, no, I didn't actually do art for them. I used one of Stardock's default faction images.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm so disappointed. I haven't actually run into them in one of my games yet, but I know that as soon as I do, they're going to pop up and I'm going to be like, oh my god, what is that? Because it's seriously scary.
So, Paul, as you already know, you can never win. We released a patch yesterday, and the chat is nothing but comments about when will 1.1 come out, which I don't think we have a date for quite yet, unfortunately.
Next month.
Next month, so June sometime. Sure.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, that'll come with Steam Workshop, which I know a lot of people are excited for. That should certainly help.
We have to make sure that the Steam Workshop stuff is pretty robust. That's why it'll come out soon as we're confident that people can share. I think we're starting with ships and factions.
Sure.
And we also don't want like the way it works to change it, after we do it. So we have to make sure that we're future proofing for when you can start sharing scenarios or other more beefy things.
So we have a bunch of questions about combat, just in general, and like how combat works. And my question to you, Paul, is what are you going to do about the madly overpowered carriers? Because that pendulum has swung back to that side again.
Carriers.
I don't know. They are madly overpowered, but really only late game. This actually, honestly, is probably the same issue as the colony ship thing, where it's just they're not heavy enough mass, so you can put them on too. So we'll probably just boost up their mass a little and hope that kind of dials it down. What I don't want is to nerf them to the point where the fighters are useless, right? So right now the fighters grow with your technology level, and that's awesome. The bad news is they grow with your technology level, and that's awesome. So they then kill things. Like when you have 5 fighters with Doom Rays come hurling out, you know, it makes a big difference. So I'll keep tweaking it for sure. Well, here, let's see. Let's, oh, I'm soaking. I guess I can't exit while I'm soaking. Here I can retire.
Paul's just doing his best to have the traditional break the game while soaking on the street.
Well, I wanted to, here, let's go to the campaign, because then we can get some battle right away, so I can show.
Are we going to get the Excel editor?
Yes, but not maybe not even in 1.1. Sometime in the next few months.
Okay.
I honestly need to clean it up.
Sure.
I mean, it's a bunch of hacky for loops and if statements.
Okay.
And I would like to get it a little more robust. And also I want to make sure it has like automatic directory. So you'll essentially up in the top of each sheet say, this is, my mod, my scenario. And then you can just boop, 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 and as you export them, they won't overwrite the game. They'll overwrite your mods, and therefore you'll get you'll have complete control over what the data in the game is without damaging the base game. Because right now, if I just gave you the editor, it's really easy to break the game.
Sure.
Really, really easy.
Had a question about rebinding functions that are bound to middle mouse. Can we get an option to replace that? Some people have bad middle mouse buttons. That's not a terrible idea.
I don't. Yeah, I think that we did talk about that. That's more of a development question that I don't actually know the answer to. But we were like, oh, by the way, we don't actually let the players do that. So yeah, we would like to work on that.
Sure. Let's see. So you're going to talk about combat and how combat works. It looks like you have that loaded up.
Well,
so
I'm gonna talk a little bit about. Okay, so this is maybe a one-sided battle here, but the way combat works essentially is there's lots of ways. All the ships will start at their starting positions. As a matter of fact, a fun thing to do if you're let me just kill this battle and go to there. If you go to options, there's an option in here called interface called auto start battles. Turn that off. Now when I take on this battle up here, you'll see it will start. Oh, I guess I'm still in free. Okay, so the battle didn't start right away. Okay, so now that I'm in auto start, so nobody started, and you can kind of see how everybody comes in. So right now what this is this is the Crusader, which is our beefy death ship. These ships, these overlords or whatever they are, class ships come in, and they all are escorting. They're escort ships, right? So I look at them and it says escort large. They're escorting the Crusader. This one is actually escorting. Oh, it's funny. These ones are actually escorting each other, but they're surprised about that. It's a little weird. Anyway, so yeah, so these guys are going to try and defend this guy. I think this one, these are just pure assault, and these are all. Oh wait, these little guys came out of the freighter module on the assault module, the carrier module on the Crusader. So they're actually going to defend other ships. So this one is defending the Warhammer. This one is defending the Crusader. So what's going to end up happening is essentially these guys guard. These guys are going to rush out and kill everybody. This little guy is somehow. Oh, this is Gallivant. It's a little. I threw this in as kind of a larf. He usually dies horribly right away. But if you can make it through the whole crusade with him still alive, it's kind of awesome. Anyways,
Should
so
that be an achievement?
yeah, I actually thought about doing that, but it kind of came out a little late, and I don't even know how we would track it because you'd have to get through multiple maps. But so anyway, so these guys are defending him. These guys are rushing out. If I go over here, the same kind of thing is happening. So these are support ships. Now, if Gallivant was over here, he'd be over here defending these guys. Because the Drengen, because this is the campaign, I kind of have everything set up to assault. So these guys are all just going to rush out and kill. There's pretty much... Oh, wait, these guys are defending. Yeah, they're defending the Skull Crusher. And these guys are going to go out and kill and go out and kill. So essentially, you can see now that when you start the battle without it, when you can see the formations a little better. Here, I'll go back to the top down. Okay, so as we go in here, you'll see that the little guys start are diving in. These other ones, the reason why they're kind of panning out is because they're trying to stay within range of the thing they're defending, right? So they'll start blowing each other up. And essentially what ends up happening, if you actually go over the stats, I don't know if it's in here. I guess you might have to go out to it should be in here. No, I'm talking about there's a thing like if you select a escort, it'll say attacks this guy first. So the fighters these assault fighters normally will go straight for capital ships or support ships, and there's no support ships, so they're going to go straight to the capital ships. But they will actually try and take out escorts first so that they have a clear path. So it's a kind of it's not a rock, paper, scissors thing, but there is like a strategy. So if you put in enough guardians, you can actually protect a ship, a support ship, like till the end of the battle and not lose that support ship. You have no guardians, some interceptor is going to fly in there and just blow up your support ship, and you'll die.
So Guardians are generally going to be one of the ship type that you want if you're, escorting transports or something like that?
Guardians will support escort first support, and then escorts will do capital ships, then support. So if you have no capital ships and you have escorts and guardians and a support ship, they will all die before that escort goes.
Okay, that's super useful to know.
Yeah, so these are like little things. And now the other thing to keep in mind is that those roles can actually be overridden and assigned, which we kind of did last minute. I'm still not in love with it, but because I don't know if people do it. But if you actually do play with that, you'll find out that you can really game the system quite a bit, because you can just put really fast ships that are, or have your huge capital ship be tagged as a guardian, and it'll defend your support ships to their death, and that's not really the behavior that was originally planned, but it allows people to kind of add a little more strategy to it.
Cool.
Do you have?
Oh, I got questions.
Okay.
And by I mean, all of our community. So we're doing a little bit of a kind of goofy format today. You don't see me on the camera, so I apologize for that. I know everybody misses my beautiful face, but you can imagine me here in my majestic beard and my twins hat, and just have yourself a little solo party over there. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm going to get some questions. Let's see. Are I would like to talk to you something conversations via the diplomacy screen coming in soon?
We're working on it. Yes, but I don't know how. I don't want to promise any timetable, but we do have some. We want to get at least some more. Get off my lawn.
Will the Iconian and Thalen tech trees flavor text get another pass? Currently, they are just copies of the Terran one. I didn't actually realize that.
Yes, they. Well, some of it is. Not
oh,
all
just the
of it
shared
is.
ones have the
All
same
the shared
flavor.
ones. And honestly, we do have text for it, but it's one of those things where it's like we don't want to put it in at the last moment because it might all have some typos in it, and everybody will yell at us.
Well,
so yes, those will definitely get updated.
Far be it from us to release something with typos.
Well,
in it.
no, it's more of just a question of if it's not broke, don't change it at the last minute.
Fair enough.
So.
Fair enough. What, you want to fix crashes before flavor text?
Yeah, so.
Fine.
But yeah, we actually have new text, I'm pretty sure already.
Nice. Let's see. A0152570, who I assume is a robot, asks, what victory condition has the biggest impact on score? And that's not really a victory condition thing so much as like score is a positive of a lot of aspects of your empire,
It's
right?
largely based on your faction power, so that is how we kind of get around it being a victory condition thing. If you have a giant economic base and your faction power is mostly based on money or planets, you can still win without having other characters. But if you have giant death fleets and those also count because that based on
Sure.
so there's a lot of it goes into that. We're still tweaking the score thing. Honestly, I'm not in love with the results we're getting. What we'll probably end up doing is like once every expansion or maybe even halfway through. I know a lot of games do this, like at the end of the year or whatever. We might change that and start the schedules from scratch.
Because there were a couple of games that I won with a score of 0 at the end.
Yeah,
But that might have been because of the faction power rollover bug.
yeah,
so that
was
makes sense
probably
then.
that, yeah.
Someone said that I was handsome, so thank you.
I've already banned Satoru. I actually haven't banned Satoru. I kind of want to now, though. But Satoru was one of our winners of the Founder Elite Keys. He almost won twice, but he gracefully stepped aside so that somebody could win the second time, which was nice. Can you adjust the game volume so it's lower than Paul? It's hard to hear. Certainly, I can turn the game volume down. It's usually pretty low. Sorry about that. Oh, Paul, you're too quiet, apparently.
Well,
So
that's because I don't know what to.
Are you getting off the mic?
I
No,
didn't think
people are
so.
complaining that your level is too low.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm right on the mic, so
All right,
the
I'll
mic
turn you
might
back.
be too low.
All right. So, what build are you playing here? We're just playing the Public 101 that went out
Yep.
the other day, and by the other day I mean yesterday. Yeah. You should ask Paul questions. I know that you have questions for Paul, Brett.
Okay, I do have questions for Paul, but most of them are like, very development related. Do you think that we'll ever get like documentation on all the XML files to like see what all these kind of obscure options do?
Some of them, yes, we already have, but we would have to like go through all of our docs and write it out. So maybe.
Okay.
However, the editor will probably answer 99% of those questions.
Okay, because it's just like scanning through all these XML files, like
Yeah.
you'll see some things that are really
Before you leave,
obscure.
I should show you the editor so that you'll.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So, because essentially, it's much more clear in that case.
Okay.
Although I still find modifiers and stuff and go, what the hell does this do? Does this do what it says it does? Nope.
But the question is, what is soaking in Galaxies? Soaking is it's actually a cheat that is in the game, and you can
Yeah.
access it by hitting the grave key, as Derek likes to call it. To open the console, that's the key to the left of your 1 on your keyboard, and hitting soak. And what it does is it just has the AI take over your empire so that it's just all AIs playing against each other.
Yeah, it's actually fun to watch. It's a great screensaver.
Tends to crash my game though because it's a development tool.
Well, that and if you have a lot of mods or something.
Yeah, that's probably why.
The problem is that especially if you don't have enough memory or whatever, the AI will go kind of crazy and the turns start going by really fast. So you get this, tons of zillions of ships and
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
More questions? Well, I'm on the spot now. I can't think of questions. Maybe you can answer another question and I'll think of a question of my own.
Fair enough. Is the auto cheat gone for good? It doesn't appear to be in the campaign. I don't know what auto even does. What does auto do?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Maybe that was a
I don't know. I mean, something in the console anyway. Is there
really
something
there was
that does
it
auto?
might be a debug only thing.
Oh, that could be.
I don't know. I don't think autoplay and soak are kind of the same thing.
Sure.
So maybe one deprecated the other. I don't actually know off the top of my head. I've never used it, so it must not have been that important. I did get somebody on the forums going, I got this crazy thing. How do I turn it off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this little debug panel here is so that we can track performance and see how many vertices are on the screen and how many draw calls and
Right.
how many particles are being rendered. The answer is D, the D button. D.
I just want to be able to remap it so I can put my freaking camera movement on WASD.
Oh,
That's what
well,
I
we are
want.
gonna do that. We are gonna do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually, honestly, that should be a debug only command, or
Uh,
even actually
oh.
at this point we could make it a command, a console command.
Sure.
It was really useful for us doing performance, so that's why it is.
I see. No, auto. He meant. I think the auto turn setting, not the auto cheat. Auto turns are in, aren't they?
Does he just mean turn?
Yeah, just like the auto turn, so you don't actually have to hit the end turn button. I thought that auto turns were in. Are they not?
Honestly, I don't know.
Well,
I'll look into it.
Fair enough.
I know that there was an auto turn option. Probably. That's the beauty of now that the game is working and solid. We can start doing these little niceties and things that are for advanced players. Like I was thinking about we were thinking we might even make an option just to turn off turn actions. It's something we definitely don't want normal people doing, but advanced players, like, I don't need to be told to manage my starports and stuff. So
If you did that, I would love you forever.
yeah, I said a lot of hardcore people are like, but and ironically, it was originally my plan to have it, and then I changed my mind because you end up with this where you get impatient and you go, I'm just going to turn, and that isn't always a good thing. Hey, look at this. What's this? Oh, that's the founder ship made by one of the miners.
If I were to suggest, though, I think the best option for handling that, like a long time ago, I posted a suggestion on the forums for it, but like, instead of just, having the button to say like idle ship or idle colony, you kind of have like icons right next to the turn button that says like, hey, you have ships that are idle, you should probably pay attention to them, or colonies that are idle, but still allow the turn button to be pressed, ignoring it.
Yeah, we thought about doing something like that, but honestly, you just ignore them. So for normal people, it's useless. I think the best thing is to do it the way we do it, and then just give people the option, the advanced players the option to turn it off.
Yeah, I agree. So I did think of one question, one kind of technical question. So in the option settings, there's this graphic option called lean maps. I have never heard of a lean map.
A
in my life.
lean map is essentially a very huge. Jesse's probably gonna smack me because I'll probably say it wrong, but it's a type of normal map.
I know what it is.
And
It's a world space normal map, right?
Kind.
Because I saw it. It was like all yellow and stuff. And
It is. Like I said, this would be a Jesse question, but essentially, what the lean maps do is make it so that the bump and stuff on these ships, because the way we do our ships, we have all, people can build whatever they want. Whereas in a lot of games, you have a very fixed aspect and size, and you can make sure the maps are all the right size for the resolution you're at. But because players can build whatever they want, you can end up with these situations where these normal map lines actually get compressed too small to look right, and therefore they'll vibrate, and you see this
I see.
jiggity thing. And the lean maps essentially address that, and yeah, I think it essentially translates that into the world space, and they modify with the zoom and everything, and essentially allows it to make it so that things don't vibrate. If you want to see the difference, essentially turn off lean maps, and then like look at one of the shinier races like the Iridium, in the ship designer where they bob, and you'll see the kind of weird tearing look that you get. And honestly, it's really just a cosmetics thing. It doesn't. You can actually save a buttload of memory by turning it off, but if you've got the memory, the game looks better. So that is why we give you the option to turn it off.
Cool. So yeah, that seems pretty cool. But I have the memory, so I'll just keep it on, and I like pretty things anyways. So I'm all out of questions.
Jesse had to break his brain making those work too. So it's always nice that they get to. Ooh, I see a lot of transports going out. Apparently, a war has started. Or two.
The AI loves the transports, that's for sure. Man, so we have a ton of questions actually out of the chat, so thanks you guys as always. We had a bunch of questions around kind of how difficult it can be sometimes to find fleets. Find your fleets and find the ships that you care about, that you want to be commanding, and not the guys that are just off moving to join somebody or whatever. So kind of what are you planning around that?
Well, we're gonna give a little bit of more love to the ship list. where and we might even actually break it into 2 lists where there's a fleet list, but it'll probably actually be this will be fleet view by default, and then it'll say fleets and ships, and what you can do, you'll be able to do is collapse and uncollapse the fleets so that you can see, so, oh, here's my fleet, what's in that fleet. The hard thing about any sort of search or anything like that is difficult because I mean, some players name their ships, but most players don't. So you don't really know which one you want. Originally, I wanted this to be sort by strength and stuff. So we might actually end up having to do 3 tiers of sortability by fleet and then by ship, and then maybe actually even at that point, like by strength. Well, another option would be to have like a favorite thing where you can say, this is my favorite constructor or my favorite survey ship. You favorite it, and then you can always see where that ship is or something like that. But primarily our biggest concern right now is just making fleets and ships a little more manageable.
So right now, I know the fleet screen caps out at, I think, 500 ships. Are you gonna up that limit, because like that goes by really fast on some
Well,
of the larger maps?
that's the problem. That's one of the reasons why we want to make it so it collapses into
okay.
fleets, because then you won't run into 500 ships. But it is hilarious to me that you're like, it runs out at 500 ships. It's like, we're like, who's gonna have 500 ships? Everybody on a giant galaxy is gonna have 500 ships. So, yeah, we're addressing that. I'd also like to do something similar for planets. I know we get a lot of requests for the old show all planets thing, and I didn't really understand why until I was watching a player who would explore and go, oh, here's a good planet, and then he'd drop a waypoint on it so that he remembered what the class of that planet was. So I like the idea of having that show all planets, but only showing planets that are exposed. So looking into something like that too.
So what exactly is the show all planets thing? Is that just like it shows even the ones that aren't colonized?
No, it would show any habitable planet that you have discovered.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So, but we also don't want to crowd the list. Wait a second, wasn't that a? Oh, well, that guy didn't last long. So apparently the Drengen and the Cran are not happy with each other.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what you're doing, like looking off Adam's screen.
Look at this. This is one of of Brad's, one of Derek's crazy chrome races. I wonder if your race is in here yet. There, let's see.
Yeah, my race. I know it's. I looked at the XML stuff. It's in there.
I wonder if it's in this game.
Oh, in this game.
I turned.
Yeah.
I guess this is why you don't soak on a stream. Okay, here. Did I kill the game? Oh, I
Paul,
did.
you always soak on the stream.
It's because it's fun. It's funner to watch than it is to. Maybe I'll try an auto load. I wonder what happens if you load a soaked game. I don't even know.
I think it usually works actually okay. I don't think it's like the save that's anything in the save that breaks. All right, let's see. We got a bunch of great questions. Is it possible to make the UI bigger for 4K resolution?
There's already a 4K resolution size. That is the large UI. And actually, ironically, we had to disable, like if I click this here, it'll say, your screen's not big enough to run this. So essentially, if you're running 2560 by 1440, it will look as if the UI will be the same size as if you were running 1280 by 768.
Okay.
So essentially, but if you're running 4K, and I do this all the time on my 4K, run large, and it'll look roughly almost identical to running at 1920 by 1080, but everything will be super, super crisp and clean. In 1.1, I do want to get a medium size out too for middle. A lot of
like
people
2560.
Yeah, because the other one is too big for most monitors.
Right.
But it's too. But the small is too small for people who have eyesight or really small monitors.
Right.
So we're going to come out with, I have actually 3 sizes that kind of work, but we're going to at least get one more size in beta 1.1. Not beta one.
Yeah, you've been in beta
Patch
too
one.
long, Paul.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Can you stop the auto renaming of fleets whenever a ship is added or removed or upgraded? I name fleets that have specialty ships like survey ships.
That is a good idea, and probably yes. I actually want to just do. I want to come up with a better. We're gonna do at some point, probably not right away. We're gonna have a better fleet management system, and oh look, everybody's still alive. So where's your race here? What are they called?
The Orphica Enclave.
I guess they're not here.
Ah, that's too bad. You'd know them if you saw them. They're horrifying. In a good way.
Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do some stuff with fleets, but I want to get a smarter fleet naming, and also we should tag it for sure to be like, if you renamed it, the fleet stays that name. So
Fair enough. Could you make the UI auto scale to all sizes of monitors, or would that require a new UI? I mean, we want to give people the option to use whatever size they want to some extent. So,
well, okay. Here's what the original plan was, and the problem is it kind of backfires. We're going to have multiple sizes, and it will by default when you install it'll go, oh, you have this size. We recommend this UI size. If you're running 4K, it should recommend 4K. If you're running 1920, it should probably recommend normal, which is actually 120% of what we currently have. If you're running 1280, it was small. The problem with that is we can't dynamically do it because of the way the texture atlas works, and because we have so many screens, it tends to be a hot swapping nightmare. So we require the person to reboot. But what we can do is recommend automatically. But once you've ever set it to that, we don't want to override. We don't want to override your preferences because that just makes people mad.
Right. Let's see. Please define general AI strategy improvements in 101. I think that's just adjusting some of the priority weights.
Well, Brad is doing a bunch of little things.
Okay.
I couldn't even begin to, Brad's check-ins tend to be AI is now smarter at invading. AI is now smarter at defending. AI is better at this and that. So, honestly, and I as much as I like to take all the glory for the game, when it comes to AI, Alan and Brad kind of have their own little black box. I can kind of I feed into it every once in a while. But yeah, I literally be like, AI is better at this now. AI won't fall for this anymore. Little things like that. Because that's, I'm bitching about the exploits that people come up with. Brad has to concern himself with the exploits of, I'm just going to do it again. What the hell? I probably just broke everything somehow. That is a lot of ships.
All right.
So the AI is
Go for it.
getting smarter. That pretty much is what it boils down to.
Fatal Ghost 503 has asked this question enough times that I feel like I should ask it to Paul. Will we ever get a beam weapon that can just rip through a hull from one side to the other like in the intro video?
Soon as I can figure out how to do that and not completely break the game, yes. The Doom Ray is the closest thing to that. If you have a crappy enough ship, it will murder you. And I tried to. I mean, if you play the campaign, the Crusader has like all Doom Rays on it, and that was kind of an homage to the trailer. But yeah, I mean, I tried really hard to get as much of that cutscene into those first couple battles of the Crusade, but of the campaign. But there's only so much I can do without completely breaking the game. I had to substantially nerf the Crusader like 2 or 3 times because it was just too awesome. There's already people who cheat it up and use it as whole fleets of them to kill each other and stuff.
That's ridiculous. We had some chatter in the chat about the 100-player game or the 100-faction game, and somebody saying they saw screenshots of it. I thought they did it on dev stream. That was actually the dev stream from Monday, which was Derek Paxton, who's our VP of Entertainment, kind of going through modding and showing off a 100-player game and that kind of stuff.
Here, let me see if I can load his.
Oh, you can try.
Because I saw it in the saves.
But if this doesn't work, or if it does work, you can check it out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'm sure Island Dog can drop that link into the chat. and hook it up in there and see it that way. It was actually a really interesting stream, so you should watch it anyway, if I do say so myself. But yeah.
Yeah, I always had Derek kind of over what, he's like the king modder, so he's always, it's actually good for modders that he's always kind of watching. Well, how's that going to affect modding? How's that going to affect modding? How's that, so it's really nice to have somebody who
I
really,
love those people in game companies.
Yeah. I mean, I totally, am for it too, but I've never really done it for a living, essentially, so it's really nice to have somebody who thinks through the whole process of how's this going to affect modders. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Nice. So we had a couple good questions from Espresso Forever, whose username I appreciate. Oh, I think he was playing an intuitive, or not intuitive, but whatever the trait is that lets you see all the homeworlds is who he was playing as well, so you could see everyone.
So there you go. There's a
nice. I
wonder what happened if I soak this. The game probably explode.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen if you soak it?
Well, let's find out.
I think we should find out. But anyway, a couple good questions about saves, or rather suggestions for saves from Espresso Forever. To put the turn number in the save file name, which has been a common request, which is not like the hardest engineering task in the world, probably.
I think it was supposed to be. Maybe some happened where it didn't get added. But yeah, design-wise, yes, it's supposed to be there.
So that's basically a yes. And then a request to have a user-defined number of save games that are kept.
That is an interesting thing that I never thought of, and I don't have any objection to it other than the fact that somebody will have to do it. But yes, it is. I think that'd be a cool idea, actually.
We had a big old question from Cyclonus, who, by the way, wrote a really nice beginner's guide on the Steam community, so you should check that out. It should be one of the better rated guides in there. It's a really nice illustrated guide to kind of getting your feet under yourself in Galciv 3. So I would definitely point everyone to that. Okay, but a really good question. Are there any plans to bring the terraform preview from Galciv 2 in? In Galciv 2, the display of available terraforming tiles on the planet were yellow, orange, or red, depending on what technology you had unlocked. Currently, it is very difficult to know between the different levels of terraforming. You have to click back and forth on the improvements to see the different levels and what hexes are available, because he doesn't want to waste a level 2 terraformer on a level 1.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It doesn't work the same way it did in Galciv 2. Whereas Galciv 2 literally would, when that planet was generated, would. I'm trying to find your guys, but I guess they're not here either.
Yeah, isn't all the tiles in Galactic 3 like all the same level basically?
Essentially, there is no such thing as a terraformable tile in Galactic 3. So to preview it that way would actually require like essentially doing what you're doing when you select it. So what we could do, however, maybe is make it so different terraforming improvements when you select them are lights up everything but in different colors. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, because in Galciv 2, like I said, that when that planet was generated, it would say there's a class 12 and it would randomly pick there are 12 terraformable tiles on this, or 8 or whatever. In Galciv 3, it all has to do with the continents, the shape of the continents, which is random. So that is why some planets you can terraform up to amazing levels and others you can't.
Yeah, because I was looking through the files and I saw that one of the conditions for actually having a tile on there was like how much land this hex encompasses. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Matter of fact, I might have to nerf that a little on some of them, because I like the Ultra Terraformer is a little too powerful, I think.
The Ultra Terraformer, for the longest time, had my favorite typo in the whole game, because in Alpha, for quite a long time, it was named the Untra Terraformer.
What?
And I was just very amused at thinking of, like, what in the world is an Untra Terraformer?
An Untra Terraformer is a Klingon terraforming device.
There you go.
I don't know. Drenzen for terraforming.
Awesome. Are continental coastlines and islands fractally generated?
They are not. They're
randomly generated.
They are,
to some extent,
they're to some extent, essentially, these continents are artists created, some better than others. They're artist created stamps, and essentially each one has a little tag in XML that says, I can support approximately 8 tiles, or approximately 6 tiles, approximately 2 tiles, or 4 tiles. And when the planet is generated, it goes, I am a bread basket. I need, I'm a low gravity planet. I have this set of colors. I have this set of gradients, so I'll look like this. I have this set of clouds, and I'm a class 12, so I need 3 continents, or I need some continents that equal at least a 12, or I think it's actually like 12 plus 3 or something like that. So then it will randomly pick from that, and then it'll randomly place the continents on the map, and that is why they all are different from each other.
Yeah, I really like that system because, like in Galciv 2, you know, they're all just the static textures for the most part, and it's like,
was
oh,
a
it's this
hard
planet again.
It was a hard system to get. Oh, look at that! And like this, there's a big line that's actually in the gradient. It was a fun system to create. It was a little hard to get to where we were happy with it, and I think we can still do some more with it. One of the things that we experimented with was as planet levels went up, the gradients would change. So I have like some cool screenshots of Mars with Earth gradients and stuff, and it actually looks really neat.
That's cool.
So yeah, we'll probably play with that more as we move into expansions.
Awesome.
But yeah, those are actually even moddable. If artists know how to make them, you can actually create your own.
Yeah, eventually I'll probably end up modding some of those in because it seems like a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, I'd like to
Big
do
continent
more. We
expansion
want to
pack.
find ways to kind of make them look a little better. We would like to have animated clouds and, some neat stuff like that. At some point, we'll probably also add some wonders and improvements that affect the whole planet, like that we'll put a halo ring around it or a space elevator or, things like that.
All right, one more question, but it's kind of a big topic. It doesn't sound like it's maybe a big topic, but I think it spirals into the larger discussion that I know we've been kind of having internally. Question is, how can I see how much my approval is affecting production? And that ties into the larger question about the economy and how production works and what affects it and how does approval exactly work and all that kind of stuff. What's your answer,
Okay,
sir?
there are 2 things. Originally, you guys will remember that there was actually at the bottom of your approval thing, it said plus 25 to production, plus 25 to... So we might just bring that back. The reason I took that off is because if you go over here, it says... Or if you go over to influence, it says high approval plus 25%. The problem, or I can go to, what is the other thing that population, food. Is growth not on here? I guess growth doesn't show. So yeah, we'll probably just bring that back. The other thing that's missing is there is no raw production tooltip, which is kind of embarrassing. So that's one of the things that will be coming in 1.1. So right here, you'll actually see the planet's raw production, which will say planet, population, Durantium refinery, because there's only a few things that give raw production. At some point, maybe asteroids might. And then a few traits. So that'll have a breakdown of that, and that it'll also say high approval plus 25%. So, but what we will probably do, because it's a little too abstract, is put the bonuses back down at the bottom of this tooltip. So you'll be able to go, oh, I'm getting plus 25 because of this.
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea that approval even affected production.
It affects, that's hence the real problem.
I still want the total percentage modifier somewhere, not even on a tooltip, but somewhere in this main view on the planetary screen, so that I can go to a planet and immediately know this planet, because of all of its modifiers, all of its research labs, and it's a ghost world or whatever else, has plus 130% research. And I can know immediately, oh, I want to specialize this over to research, because that can be tough to take or keep track of.
Isn't that this right here? What are you talking about?
Well, in the tooltip, yeah. But you still have to add it up yourself. It doesn't give you the total number in the tooltip, at least last I checked. I want to just have it, bam, on there. But that's just me. I know that visual clutter is certainly a thing.
Huh. We could probably actually Well, the problem is there's so many things that there could be bonuses for. You're really going to end up with a big, giant array of stuff.
Well, no, not all the bonuses written out, because that should absolutely be in the tooltip where it is now. Just what the final number is
For
each of the manufacturing research. Just that, like, this is plus 130% manufacturing, plus 30%
okay.
research. Just to see that number just blow right there.
that could be doable. Although, like I said, there are other things, though. I mean, that's we could easily do that for manufacturing, research, and income. But then when you get it to,
that'd be pretty
well,
useful
I
to
can't
have.
tell what influence. Well, now do we have to put it for influence? It already has it here in the tooltip. Do we have to put it for population? Do we have to put it for growth?
No,
So-
because the point of it would be to be able to allocate your production effectively on the govern wheel, or on the production wheel, the economy, whatever the heck you're calling that thing. The wheel o production, we'll
The
call it that.
production wheel.
But to be
That's
able to
so
see
hard.
that really quickly, because like the other stuff, I agree, like influence and
It's really just a
and
matter
growth
of
and stuff.
priorities. But yeah, I mean, we could also just make it so on this damn tooltip it said the total,
That would help.
and that
For
would be
sure.
the easiest and quickest thing to do. I thought we did. I guess we don't. I bet that I probably broke that. I know at one point we were showing totals.
Well, in my opinion, you can never have. Well, I guess you can have too much information in a game like this, but I like
Well,
information.
it's not a matter of too much information. That's why we have such detailed tooltips. We want players to have the information. It's that we don't want to scare people off instantly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if that's all plastered on the front,
Yeah,
a lot more stuff to look at. But tooltips definitely.
yeah. Ooh.
All right, y'all. I think we've been on for an hour. Well, I know we've been on for an hour. I think that is probably going to be our stream for the week. I hope you guys had a good time chatting with Brett today. We were happy to welcome him into beautiful sunny Michigan. It actually is beautiful and sunny today.
Yeah.
For once, like usually that's the joke, but it is actually beautiful and sunny today. May is really
You know what's
beautiful. in
crazy
Michigan.
is nobody's at war.
That is weird. It is only like turned 37, so.
Oh, that's true.
But hope you guys had fun with that today. Sorry if we didn't get to your questions. As you can see, there's a lot of questions kind of coming in chat. Plus, the special guest means we're a little bit behind on that today, but we'll try to get to it later on. Paul keeps telling me that he wants to keep doing the stream, so this might go longer than my earlier plan of cutting it off at release. So we'll see. Right now, the plan is to keep doing it until Paul says he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Well, we'll
so-
probably at least do them through 1.1, and
Sure.
and then I have a vacation in July, so that might end it. Right.
Is it a vacation if you're going to go run 50 miles or
I'm
whatever?
not. I'm not. We're going to Alaska.
Oh, nice.
We're literally going on a cruise because that was the
Awesome.
only way I could force myself to be off the internet
Fair enough.
for a week.
Man, we went to Alaska for our honeymoon actually, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. We had
I
a
went
great
there
time,
for the
so.
marathon, for the Alaska Marathon a couple of years ago
Nice.
in 2010, and that was really neat. So this time we're going up there and we're taking a cruise back
Awesome.
to Vancouver, and it literally is like we're going because I can't use the internet or I'll go broke on a cruise, cost $1 million, and also I can maybe disconnect and try and relax.
Sure.
I'm jealous. I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
Right on.
It's neat. All you gotta do is just you sign up with Team and Training and run the Alaska Marathon. That's how I did it. Although
There
I
you
had to fundraise. I had to fundraise $3,000. So, but other than that, it was awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. As always, give us a review on Steam if you haven't. Flip it to positive if you're negative. You mean people. No, it is everyone's right to give us a thumbs down if they feel that that's what we have earned.
We're
But,
working on. I know a lot of the majority of the thumbs downs are crashes, and those are all
Yep.
things we're fixing. I would
Yep.
like if you, a lot of people will say, "Oh, if they fix this, I'll update my review," and then they never do.
Well,
So yeah, if we fix a problem that you have, and that was the thing that we're bittering about, please, make your changes. However, if you really hate the game, then you hate the game.
I
but,
don't think there's a ton of people in the stream who are actively hating on the game.
Well, we're
It's the
very
only thing.
proud of the game. I think. I mean, we're still at a 85.
Yep.
Metacritic. We
Yep.
might even hit 86 again. So
No,
we're
it's-
very proud of the game,
it's been
and
great.
and I just can't wait to. I mean, I'm hoping in a few years we'll have you know, a game that will just be perfect in every way.
I'm sure that's what we'll have.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Check out the wiki. All blah, blah stuff, shout outs. I gave so many shout outs last week during the launch extravaganza that I am shouted out, as it were. So anyway, thanks again for coming. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the game. We certainly are. Enjoy 101, and you can look forward to 1.1 coming sometime in June.
I don't know why nobody's at war.
I can't solve that.
I guess
for
it's
you.
just a big galaxy with he had abundant planets, so people are probably still expanding like crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe next week we'll find out why they're not at war. Or we'll
Well-
load up a later save game and everyone will be at war.
Well, it's only 47 turns.
It is only 47 turns. All right. I'm seriously going to cut the stream, Paul.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.